Hey everybody, and welcome to day 17 of May the Force Be With You month here on Plastic Nostalgic. Today we'll be continuing our trip along Tatooine with these two rebel soldiers who infiltrated Jabba the Hutt's palace, Lando Calrissian in his Skiff Guard disguise, and Princess Leia Organa as Boushh, the bounty hunter. Now these were figures that were also available back when I was a kid, and I had several of these guys, but I never was able to keep the mask. And I was able recently to pick one of these up at a Comic-Con that we went to. And we'll be able to compare the two old ones to the two new ones and see what the differences are. So let's get into them and check it out. Today, on day 17 of May the Force Be With You month, we have these two vintage collection Star Wars Return of the Jedi figures that were also available when I was a kid, but not quite as detailed as these characters are. Here we have Lando Calrissian. There he is, standing guard at Jabba's palace after he infiltrated in their attempt to save Han Solo. You can see him on the inside here with the laser axe, or whatever it's called. He also has his helmet that aids in his disguise. The little checklist on the back includes Lando, Captain Phasma, the elite Praetorian Guard, a younger version of Lando, the Imperial Stormtrooper, and Chewbacca. Let's open this one up and see what's inside. Always be careful when using your own laser axe or whatever you use to open your toys. You don't want anything bad to happen to the toy or the disguise. Because when I played as a kid, it was always the forces of good trying to invade Jabba's palace, and I could always count on Lando to infiltrate the palace to aid the good guys. There's the card back, modeled after the old ones. Let's get him out of here. So we knock that little helmet out. I'm sure somewhere around the yard in my old homestead, there's probably a couple of these in the yard that some archaeologist is going to find later on, thousands of years later. And of course, these vintage collection, while they do resemble the characters or the action figures from the old days, they are a lot more detailed. You see the curls in his hair, the wrinkles in his clothes. Let's see if we can get this laser axe in here. Well, he has a little holster, but he did not come with any kind of laser blasters. But the holster does look like it would be able to hold one, just not that laser axe. Let's make Billy D. Williams now is a Skiff Guard and the employ of Jabba the Hutt. Much better articulation in these characters than the old ones, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Lando Calrissian, Skiff Guard disguise. Now let's check out this one. Now the Star Wars Vintage Collection from the Return of the Jedi movie, Princess Leia Organa, also known as the bounty hunter Boushh. Here she is on the inside. she used this disguise to infiltrate Jabba's palace, pretending to be a bounty hunter who had captured Chewbacca and was offering him as a pet to Jabba the Hutt. There's Princess Leia on the inside with her mask and some kind of stick or rifle or something. I'm not sure. Here is the character checklist on the back. Salt Murray, I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. Scarif Stormtrooper. Klaatu, who is another Skiff Guard. Princess Leia Organa in her Boushh outfit. Enfys Nest from the Han Solo movie. And Luke Skywalker. I guess he's doing cosplay as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Let's get into this. Now, I've already told you once to be careful. So if I got to tell you again, it's kind of on you. Now, I always liked having these characters with disguises, but this one is one that I could never find in any of the Kmarts when I was a little kid. Here is the card back. Set that aside and get her out. This looks like some kind of spear of some sort. Maybe it's something like a cattle prod. I'm not really sure. Let's get that helmet out. I always thought that was a neat looking helmet when I was a kid. Scary, but I knew Princess Leia was on the inside, so it didn't scare me that bad. Let's see what this is. I'm not really sure, but I'm sure it's an accessory we can fit right on to this character. Come on out. There we go. Nothing extra in there. And here is Princess Leia. This is how she looked right after she freed Han Solo from the Carbonite freeze chamber. Has a little cape here. Okay, here we go. See the hole in her back right there? I imagine that's where this slides in. And I probably got it upside down. There we go. That looks about right. Has some writing on it in that Star Wars language. Not quite sure what that says. Let's put this lance in her hand. She does have a firm grip on that. Now, let's complete the disguise with her Boushh helmet. We can get it on there good. And now, here she is, complete as Boushh. Another highly detailed character from the Star Wars Vintage Collection. The addition of the cape makes it a fun character, in addition to the disguise. Okay, let's get this disguise off without pulling her head off. There we go. Oh. Aha! In the other hand, she has that thermite grenade that she was threatening Jabba the Hutt with. Very highly detailed character here. I'm glad I found this when I did. Slide her helmet back on. That fits rather nicely, but I do wish it would slide on a little bit better. Princess Leia Organa as Boushh. This is the side-by-side comparison with the original Boushh action figure from the recent release from the Vintage Collection. As you can see, they are very similar, although the newer one is much more highly detailed than the previous one. They have a lot of the details similar, like the shoulder pads here, the lined waist, and the tunic falling around the elbows there, along with the cape. Well, this one is a or sash, right, whatever you want to call it. This one is molded part of the plastic. This one is obviously actual cloth. Even down to the knee pads and the boots, while a little different, are still pretty similar. There's that canister on the back. This one is molded to it and doesn't remove like this one does. It has that bandolier across the chest. Again, this one is molded to it, and this one is loose on Boushh. And of course, you can't miss that detail of Boushh holding on to that thermal detonator that she threatened Jabba the Hutt with. This figure did not come with that in her hand. I am happy now to have both of these characters in my collection. The side-by-side comparison of Lando Calrissian and Skiff Guard. This is the original minus his neat helmet, and you can tell by the paint wear on it in a couple of places that this is well played with, but it's still pretty tight as an action figure. Still, he's pretty detailed for a character that old. This is the newer one, of course, much more highly detailed, and it includes his mask. I'll have to keep my hand on this one so I don't lose it. Now, this I thought was a pretty scary looking mask. It had like horns and teeth sticking out of it along the front there. Made it a pretty scary mask for a disguise. You can see from the facial features, it looks a lot like Billy D. Williams. And the chest plate is similar. This one has a belt and a little sash, I guess, a loincloth of some sort. That it's molded to this one, but it is also kind of soft plastic. It's not cloth like the Boushh one. And on the back, it's very similar, except the cross braces on his shoulder harness on this one is the same color as the plastic, and this one they painted black. Shoulder pads. Gauntlet on the wrists, or on that one wrist at least. And the strap, and they both have straps on their legs, but these ones are a little more straps to that one than this one. Oh, I see. They just have it done up differently, but it's the same kind of strap. Okay, let's get his mask back on. And if anybody has a mask and wants to send it to me, I'll be glad to take it so he can get back in his disguise, because he can't infiltrate Jabba's palace looking like he's fixing to drink some Colt 45. But I am also glad to add another disguised action figure to my collection. Thanks for joining us today on our trip through Tatooine on day 17 of May the Force Be With You month here on Plastic Nostalgic. And be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite Star Wars planet is. See y'all next time.